Moments before my life-changing kidney donation, my grandson discovered an amazing secret. Walter stood in the small, cluttered kitchen, glancing out the window towards the fading light. The familiar sounds of his quaint Midwestern town hummed in the background, children laughing, the distant thump of a basketball, and the gentle rustling of leaves as the evening breeze whispered through them. It was just hours before he would give away a part of himself, a kidney, to save his beloved daughter-in-law, Anna. This wasn't just about survival, it was a continuation of the love and sacrifice that had defined his family for generations. In the adjoining living room, his 12-year-old grandson, Ethan, sat cross-legged on the floor, piqued by the stories Walter shared of his youth, tales that spun out like golden threads in the fabric of their shared family history. The American dream materialized in those stories: hard work on the farm, mowing lawns during scorching summers, laughter at community picnics. Walter's stoic demeanor concealed a deep well of affection, matched only by the pride he felt for his family. "You know, Grandpa," Ethan said, his eyes wide with admiration, "you remind me of those superheroes from the movies, always helping people." Walter chuckled softly, shaking his head. "Just a man doing what he needs to do," he replied, his voice low and steady. He didn't see himself as a hero. His acts were built on duty, that heart of American resilience that thrived in small towns where neighbors become family. But that evening, as fate would have it, everything shifted dramatically. While rummaging through the attic for an old baseball glove, Ethan stumbled upon a dusty box. Curiosity nagged at him, and he opened it to find a trove of yellowed letters. His heart raced as he read, each word drawing him into a world filled with prejudice and societal battles Walter had fought silently. It was a raw depiction of his grandfather's youth, struggles against a world not built for him, dreams smothered by the weight of expectations. Ethan felt a knot tighten in his chest. This was not the man he had idolized, not the sturdy figure that seemed immune to hurt. The words opened a floodgate of questions, and as he processed the complexity of his grandfather's past, a heavy silence settled between them. Walter brushed off Ethan's attempts to delve deeper, absorbed instead in his preparations for Anna. The impending operation loomed over them, turning their bond fragile like the filigree of a spider's web caught in the wind. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Days trickled by, tinged with a delicate tension as they navigated whispered conversations, heavy with unspoken truths. Walter felt the specter of his history lurking, but every day was about Anna and what he needed to do. The night before surgery, as he lay on his creaky bed, he could feel the distance between him and Ethan. It was a palpable ache in his heart. In the dimly lit hospital corridor, just before he was wheeled away, Ethan approached him, his eyes fierce with resolve. "Why didn't you tell me, Grandpa? About everything you faced?" Walter's heart raced as it dawned on him. This was the moment, the crossroads where vulnerability could either shatter or mend. As they locked eyes, the air pulsated with a mix of unresolved emotions: love, doubt, and the weight of their shared legacy. Before either could say another word, a familiar figure appeared in the doorway, revealing an unexpected connection to Walter's past that could unravel everything they held dear about family and sacrifice. As the figure stepped into the dim light, Ethan squinted to make sense of the shadowy silhouette. It was Clara, Walter's estranged sister. Her hair was silver and her frame frilier than he remembered from childhood visits. The air suddenly thickened with unspoken words and buried memories. Walter's heart sank. He hadn't seen Clara in over a decade, not since their father's funeral, and the rift between them felt like a chasm, a dark hole filled with hurt and resentment. "Walter," she said softly, her voice shaking. "I heard about Anna. I had to come." Walter's stomach twisted. He didn't want to confront their past now, especially not in these moments that felt so critical. "Clara, this isn't the time," he replied, his tone clipped. But Ethan's curious gaze darted between the two. You two know each other? Why Haven T, I heard about her. Clara's eyes softened at the sight of her young nephew, but the sadness in them was unmistakable. I can explain, Ethan. I never meant for you to find out like this. Then don't, Walter interrupted, clenching his fists. Not now, not here. Ethan felt the tension rise like a boiling pot on a hot stove. But, Grandpa, I want to understand. Your letters, they talked about someone named Clara. I thought you hated her. Walter's breathing deepened as he fought against the flood of emotions. His hands trembled. He looked away, unable to meet Ethan's curious gaze. It's complicated, son, he managed to say, his voice barely above a whisper. Everything in our family is complicated. Ethan exclaimed, frustration spilling over. You've sacrificed so much, Grandpa. But hiding from your past? It's just gonna make this harder for you, just like it is for me. The words hung in the air, heavy and poignant. Walter's face tightened. Yet, in that moment, a flicker of understanding ignited something inside him. He could feel the churning emotions, those long-repressed feelings battling for space, and he craved to let them out. Clara stepped closer, her eyes pleading. Walter, please. I've missed you. I want to help Anna however I can, but we can't ignore the past anymore. Ethan looked back and forth between them, sensing the tidal wave of unresolved history. What happened? What drove you apart? Walter fought to steady himself, taking a deep breath. It was our parents, their expectations, their demands. It broke us, Clara, he confessed finally, burying the truth that had defined them for far too long. I know, Clara whispered. But isn't this the moment we come together? You're about to give Anna a part of yourself. Why not give each other a chance? Ethan's eyes brightened as he glanced at his grandfather. Yeah. It could be a new beginning for all of us. But Walter hesitated, his heart heavy with doubt. Caught in this moment of fragile possibility, Walter felt his world teetering on the edge. What if facing Clara meant unearthing more pain than healing? But as Anna's surgery loomed closer, he knew he had to choose both for his daughter-in-law and for his own heart. With Clara standing in the doorway, a specter from his past, and Ethan's hopeful gaze locked onto him, Walter felt a mixture of dread and yearning. The weight of his decision was immense, and he could only hope that beneath the scars lay the possibility of forgiveness. All right, Walter finally spoke, his voice trembling. Let us talk. Before he could gather the resolve to continue, a loud beeping erupted from the nearby nurse's station. A commotion stirred, interrupting their fragile moment. Walter and Clara exchanged startled glances. What new complication awaited them? And would it bring them closer or tear them apart again? The beeping grew louder, piercing the stillness that had enveloped them. Walter's heart raced as he turned towards the nurse's station, anxiety bubbling in his chest. Clara's fingers trembled at her sides, her eyes wide with concern. What's happening? Ethan asked, his youthful voice filled with unease, mirroring Walter's growing dread. The frantic movements of nurses were like a storm churning right outside their small sanctuary. Walter felt a lump in his throat. He knew that in just a few hours, he would be in surgery, giving Anna the kidney she so desperately needed. But here, in this moment, fear mingled with the unresolved tension of his past. Then, a nurse rushed past them, her brow furrowed with determination. We need to get a doctor in here, fast. She called, her words spiraling into the air. Walter's heart plummeted. This can't be happening, he muttered, barely able to voice the panic. He didn't know if it was a complication with Anna or something worse. The shadows from his past felt even heavier now, pressing down on him. Stay here, he instructed Clara and Ethan, as if he could shield them from the chaos. But as he moved toward the noise, something pulled him back. Clara's hand gripped his arm, her touch unexpectedly grounding. Walter, she began, uncertainty clouding her voice. Not now, Clara. He snapped, his frustration boiling over. He tried to walk away but paused when he saw the hurt flicker across her face. I just need to check on Anna. I'm scared, Ethan admitted, his youthful bravado slipping. Walter turned, kneeling down to meet his grandson's eyes. At that moment, he realized it wasn't just Anna they were worried about. It was everything: the surgery, the relationship with Clara, the weight of their family's history. Walter sighed, taking a deep breath. I know, Ethan. I feel it too. He ran a hand through his hair. But this is about Anna. We need to focus on her right now. Do you want me to stay with you? Ethan asked, seeking comfort, his hand twisting nervously. Yes. I want you here. Walter's voice softened. He needed Ethan close, the one connection that felt right amidst the chaos of the day. Clara, you should go, he finally said, glancing back at his sister. It hurt to say it, yet he feared unearthing secrets on such a fragile day. Walter, please. If something's wrong, I can help. We can face this together, she whispered, a plea reflecting in her darkened eyes. A second nurse rushed by, this time with a doctor in tow. Walter felt the wheels of fate spinning, tugging at the nerves in his stomach as they began to congregate around a nearby patient. He couldn't help but overhear snippets: words like preference, specialist, and decision. Walter, Clara started again but was cut off as the doctor raised his voice, drawing everyone's attention. Everyone, we need to clear the area. Now. His authoritative tone left no room for argument. Walter looked at Clara, then at Ethan, two people held hostage by the same fear. They stood on the edge of something monumental and unsettling. Is this about Anna? Clara pressed, desperation lacing her voice. I don't know, Walter said, his heart sinking even lower. Suddenly, the door to Anna's room swung wide open, and the doctor stepped out. Walter, I need you to come with me now. Every heartbeat felt like a countdown as Walter reluctantly moved toward the door, but not before glancing back at Clara and Ethan. Stay here, he instructed, putting all his faith in the moment. But the unknown loomed like a thick fog around him. With one last glance, he felt fear and determination battle within him. Was this going to bring them all closer or break him even further? As he stepped into the room, a strange thought pierced through his swirling emotions. What if this was more than just a surgery? What if this day could unravel even more secrets? Just before the door closed, he heard Clara call after him, Walter, I need to tell you something. The weight of that unfinished conversation hung in the air, and Walter felt a pull in two directions: one toward Anna, one toward a future he had long buried. Which path would he choose in this crucial moment? Walter stepped into the sterile room, the antiseptic smell hitting him like a cold wave. The bright lights felt invasive, almost unforgiving, illuminating the uncertainty etched on the doctor's face. He had seen worry before, but this was different. This was the kind of worry that unveiled what lay beneath a calm exterior, churning in the depths of a person's soul. Walter, the doctor said, his voice steady but low. We have a situation. What do you mean? Walter's throat tightened, the fear creeping back in. The blood work came back with some unexpected results, the doctor continued, his brow furrowing deeper. We need to discuss your compatibility with Anna. Walter's stomach lurched. What do you mean? I'm a match. I've been prepared for this. Yes, but it seems there are underlying issues we were unaware of. The doctor shifted uncomfortably, casting his gaze briefly downwards before continuing. There might be risks involved with this surgery, risks that could affect both you and her. Questions flooded Walter's mind, colliding in a chaotic mess. Risks? Why hadn't anyone mentioned this before? He felt the weight of the world pressing against him, pulling down on his shoulders. What risks? Just tell me. He urged, desperation leaking through his words. The doctor took a deep breath. If something were to go wrong, it could lead to complications. Potentially life-threatening ones. Walter felt the walls closing in. He could be robbing Anna of her chance if he wasn't strong enough. He had to be, for her sake. No. I can't let this happen. She needs me, he insisted, but doubt flickered in the corner of his mind. Walter, the risks are real. You need to make a decision, and it needs to be made soon. Time isn't on our side, the doctor explained, his voice firm. Panic gripped Walter. He thought of Anna lying in that hospital bed, waiting for him to save her. He thought of Ethan, his innocent eyes reflecting both fear and hope. And Clara, the unfinished conversation hung heavy like a storm cloud over him, pressing at the edges of his awareness. What if I don't go through with it? Walter's voice was suddenly small, the enormity of the choice weighing him down further. Then we'll have to look at other options for her, the doctor said, keeping his tone patient, but urgency lingered between them. Walter closed his eyes, squeezing them tight. What if I can't? What if it's not enough? His voice cracked, full of vulnerability. Walter, listen. The truth is, we don't always know what's enough until we've taken the leap, the doctor replied earnestly. But you need to decide if you're willing to risk it all to save her. In that moment, the room felt like it was spinning. The presence of every moment he had shared with Anna rushed back, her laughter breaking through the silence, her warm hugs that felt like home. He pictured her face lighting up, free from the chains of illness. And then, abruptly, the door creaked open. Clara stood there, her expression a mix of concern and determination. Walter, I don't know what to do, but I'm here for you. You have to trust your instincts. Trust. It was a word he hadn't felt in a long time, not with his past churning inside him like a storm. But maybe, just maybe, it was time. His heart pounded in his chest. I can't give her what she needs if I'm not sure. The admission sounded like a confession. Clara stepped inside, her presence a steady anchor. You have fought through so much, Walter. You have to fight for her now. No regrets. With Clara's words lingering in his mind, he let out a shaky breath, feeling the tension crackle around him. The weight of the choice pressed on him, intermingling with his love for Anna. All right then, Walter declared, strength building within him as he met the doctor's gaze with newfound determination. Let us do this. I want to give her my kidney. I can't lose her. But behind that determination lingered an unspoken truth, memories clawing their way to the surface, threatening to shatter his resolve. Would he finally confront the shadows that had haunted him for years, as he prepared to face the next step? Walter knew this decision could very well change everything above and beyond saving Anna's life. The cool air brushed against Walter's face as he stepped out of the stuffy room, a wave of determination coursing through him. Clara's words echoed in his mind, pushing him forward like a strong current. He felt lighter, almost liberated by his choice, ready to give Anna the gift she so desperately needed. That he needed to see her. The thought of Anna lying in that hospital bed waiting for him consumed him. She was his everything, the light in his life that couldn't be extinguished, and he wouldn't let her down. Walter found himself in the dimly lit hallway, the antiseptic smell still sharp in the air. Each step took him closer to her room, but anxiety clawed at his heart. Would she understand his decision? Would she trust him enough to follow through? As he approached her room, he paused for a moment, taking a deep breath to steady himself. Through the window, he caught a glimpse of Anna, her frail form resting against the pillows, eyes closed, the machines around her softly beeping in rhythm. His heart sank at the sight. Pushing the door open, Walter stepped inside cautiously, as if afraid to disturb the fragile moment. He smiled weakly when she stirred at the sound, her eyes fluttering open. Walter, she whispered, her voice hoarse but warm, just like he remembered. Hey there, beautiful, he replied, pushing aside the fears that bubbled within him. The smile on her face, even though faint, filled him with a surge of love and hope. How are you feeling? He asked, moving closer to her bedside. Tired. But I'm okay. Just waiting. Her eyes searched his, looking for reassurance. I've made a decision, Anna, he said, feeling the weight of the words. I want to be your donor. I want to save you. A flicker of surprise crossed her features, followed by a soft smile, radiant despite her condition. Walter, are you sure? More than anything, he assured her. I can't lose you. I wouldn't forgive myself. Tears shimmered in her eyes as she reached for his hand, squeezing it lightly. "You're amazing. I love you for this, but the doctor said it's risky." "I know," he replied, his voice steady. "But I've been thinking, if not me, then who? You deserve a life, Anna. Not just to survive, you deserve to thrive." She swallowed hard, emotions spilling forth in the silence that followed. Walter could feel the weight of their shared fears and hopes hanging in the air. This wasn't just about the kidney, it was about their love, their bond stretching thin under the weight of uncertainty. "I can't let you take that risk on my account," Anna said finally, a hint of worry creeping into her voice. "And I want to let you go through this without fighting as hard as I can," Walter countered gently, his grip tightening around her hand. "I've battled my demons and come out stronger." "You make me stronger, Anna." Tears finally spilled over her cheeks, shimmering under the harsh hospital lights. "I don't deserve this kind of sacrifice, Walter." "You do. You've always deserved the world, and I'm going to give it to you, even if I have to fight through the shadows of my past to do it." Their eyes locked, and in that moment, they exchanged unspoken promises, pledges of love and resilience that could withstand whatever lay ahead. Suddenly, the door swung open, and Ethan burst into the room, a beaming smile plastered across his face. "Grandpa." "Mom." "Guess what?" His energy was infectious, bringing a sudden ray of light into the otherwise sterile atmosphere. "What is it, buddy?" Walter said, smiling down at his grandson. "I found this." Ethan held up a small, crumpled piece of paper. "What's that, sweetheart?" Anna asked, wiping her tears away and instantly shifting her focus to her son. "It's a treasure map I drew. I think it shows where we can find the best treasure of family adventure." Walter's heart warmed at the innocent spirit of the boy. It was at that moment he realized, this was just the beginning. Together they would navigate through whatever the future held. "Treasure, huh?" Walter chuckled. "Well, I think we just struck gold, didn't we?" But as laughter filled the room, Walter's mind raced with another thought. Was it truly behind them? What if there was something deeper lurking in his past that could resurface when he least expected it? As the trio filled the room with hope and laughter, Walter couldn't shake the feeling that the path ahead wouldn't just be about saving Anna. The stakes were raising with every heartbeat, and secrets had a way of bubbling to the surface when you least expected them. Would both his heart and courage be enough to face what was coming next? Walter watched as Ethan's excitement bubbled over. The little boy had a way of lighting up even the darkest moments with his boundless energy. "A treasure map. That's incredible, buddy." Ethan nodded fervently, his eyes wide with belief. "Yeah. And it's got an X. We need to find the treasure. I know it's going to be something super cool." Walter chuckled softly, a warmth spreading through him. The innocence of Ethan's imagination reminded him of a simpler time when burdens were light, and love was easy. He felt a flicker of hope, a glimmer of light flickering in the midst of uncertainty. "Can I see it?" Anna asked, her voice regaining its gentle strength as she leaned closer. Ethan rushed to her side, thrusting the paper into her hands. "It's a map to the best adventure ever. We can find it together." Anna's face lit up, and for a moment, the hardships of the hospital room melted away. "You're the best mapmaker, sweetie. But tell me, what's this treasure of yours?" Ethan squinted, deep in thought. It's happiness. And love. And maybe some candy." Walter and Anna erupted into laughter, the sound pouring over them like sunshine after a storm. Watching them together, Walter felt a swell in his heart. Maybe this was the treasure all along, a family bound by love, laughter, and hope, even in dire moments. But the laughter faded when Walter thought about the surgery looming ahead. Would he really have the strength to go through with it? Was he ready to face whatever shadows lingered in his past? A wisp of worry clouded his thoughts, but it was quickly dissipated by Ethan's bright curiosity. "Can we go on a real treasure hunt after Mom feels better?" The boy's innocent wish pierced through the heavy air of the room, cutting through Walter's doubts. Walter felt his throat tighten. "Absolutely, Ethan. We'll explore every corner of the world together. I promise. As Anna smiled up at him, something inside Walter clicked. He couldn't hold back anymore. The weight of secrets was slowly becoming too heavy to bear. You know, I used to go on adventure hunts when I was little too, he said softly. What was your treasure? Anna asked gently, an understanding glimmer in her eyes. My dad always said it was the courage to face your fears, Walter replied, trying to keep his voice steady. And to never forget the people you love. Ethan chimed in, just like what we've got right here. Mom, you'll get better and be with us again. Right, Grandpa? Walter nodded, his heart filling with both sorrow and pride. Yes, Ethan. We'll be together, I swear. A promise, maybe, but a weight had begun to lift. His past was murky, filled with fears and regrets. Yet, this moment shone brighter than any darkness he had faced. As the conversation drifted back to treasure hunting, Walter felt the knot in his stomach ease. Maybe this gift he was willing to give wasn't just about the surgery. It was about facing the truth, about leaving the past behind for the sake of Anna and Ethan. Still, a nagging thought crept in. The truth about the past loomed larger than ever now, and there was no telling how it might impact them. Just before Walter could share more with Anna, the door swung open again. A nurse peeked in with a clipboard in hand, eyes flicking between them. Excuse me, but we need to discuss some important details regarding Anna's surgery. Walter felt his heart race. This was it. The moment that would begin to change everything. Would he truly gather enough courage to face not only the surgery but the unveiling of the shadows haunting him? As Anna looked toward him, uncertainty painting her face, Walter felt the weight of their love rest upon his shoulders. He was about to step into the unknown territory of sacrifice and truth, and all it would take was one deep breath to blow down the walls that closed him in. How do you feel about this next step, Anna? He asked, unsure if he wanted to know her answer, but knowing they had to be on this journey together. Anna took a moment to gather herself, her eyes flickering between Walter and Ethan. There was fear there, yes, but also a strain of hope that seemed to shimmer beneath the uncertainty. I'm scared, she admitted softly, her voice trembling just a little. But I know we'll get through this together. Walter felt his heart twist painfully. You're the strongest person I know. We've been through so much already. This is just another step. He reached for her hand, holding it tenderly. But what if something goes wrong? She questioned, her gaze intent. What if you don't wake up? Her fear wrapped around Walter, squeezing tightly. He wasn't naive. He had already reflected on the risks more times than he could count. But every time he looked at Ethan, he felt a surge of determination. I can't think like that. I want to fight this for you, for him. Ethan, who sensed the tension in the room, chirped in, Mom, we've been through tough stuff before. Remember when I broke my arm and you said we'd make it through? Yes, I remember, Anna managed to smile, her heart softening as she turned to her son. A little light returned to her features. You're right, buddy. Walter watched them, feeling the warmth of family surround him again. It was like a blanket, calming and reassuring. But there was still something he needed to tell Anna, the truth that clung to his mind, gnawing at him. Anna, there's something I need to share with you, he said, feeling the weight of the words in his chest. About the surgery and my past. She met his eyes, an alarm sparking in hers. What is it? Walter, is there something you're not telling me? It's complicated. There are things I did, things I've never shared because I thought they wouldn't matter anymore. But I need you to know about them. You deserve the truth. Ethan shifted his weight on the uncomfortable hospital chair, oblivious to the heaviness settling over the adults. Grandpa? What are you talking about? Walter hesitated. This wasn't a conversation for a child's ears. It's okay, Ethan. Just something between your mom and me. I don't want secrets. Everyone should tell the truth. Ethan insisted, a frown creasing his brow. Anna smiled at her son's earnestness. You're right, sweetheart. Secrets aren't good for anybody. But some things are harder to talk about than others. You're right, Anna. Walter nodded, gathering courage. But whatever I share, I want you to know it's out of love for both of you. All my choices, even the hard ones, have always been to protect you. The nurse, still patiently waiting outside, cleared her throat to remind them of the urgency of time. I can come back if you'd like to share privately, she said kindly. No, Walter said quickly. He looked back at Anna, pulling in a deep breath. I want to be completely open with you now. No more holding back. Anna's eyes softened, filled with understanding. I'm ready, Walter. Whatever it is, we're in this together. As she said those words, Walter felt the shadows lingering in his heart begin to shift. Maybe this exchange would unearth not just his fears but also a pathway toward hope. With a slight tremor in his voice, he asked, Do you remember when we were younger? How we thought we'd never let go of our dreams? Anna nodded, and Walter continued, What if I told you my greatest dream might have been buried under all those years of silence? The door clicked softly as the nurse stepped out, leaving them in intimacy, encircled by the gravity of the moment. Walter, talk to me. What did you find? Anna urged, the intensity of her gaze steady upon him. He wondered if he could share the truth, the hidden treasure of his own heart. In that instant, Walter realized that with each piece of the past he revealed, they could forge a brighter future together, but as he opened his mouth, a distant siren echoed in the hospital corridors, and a new wave of uncertainty washed over him. What if sharing this truth would change everything? Just give me a second, he murmured. The next words would be weighted, life-altering, and only time would tell what lay on the other side of this conversation. Would they find the treasure of understanding he hoped for, or would it expose cracks he was not ready to face? Walter's heart pounded in his chest as he searched for the right words. Anna's face was a canvas of anticipation and fear, and he could feel Ethan's innocent curiosity radiating from where he sat. This wasn't just about him anymore, it was about the life they had built together, every moment leading them to this crossroads. I always thought I could protect you both by keeping some things to myself, he began, his voice steadying with each word. But by doing that I've only created a wall between us. Walter, Anna whispered, her brows knitting together in concern. She squeezed his hand tighter, silently urging him forward. He took a deep breath. When I was younger, before you and I met, I made some choices that weren't good that hurt a lot of people. I've been carrying that heavy burden of shame for years, thinking it was my cross to bear alone. He paused, meeting her gaze as he let the truth hang heavily in the air. Ethan watched them, wide-eyed, sensing the gravity of the moment. What did you do, Grandpa? Walter glanced at the boy, hesitating again. The last thing he wanted was to drag Ethan into old mistakes. I made poor decisions in a tough time. Decisions that led me down a dark path. I've worked hard to be better, for everyone. To be a man you'd respect. Respect? You're already that to me, Ethan chimed, his innocent wisdom shining through. What matters is you're here now, right? The boy's bright optimism struck Walter like a ray of sunlight piercing through the gloom. Yes, but also, it's about trust. He shifted his attention back at Anna. I didn't want you to see the man I used to be. I wanted to be better for you both. Anna's eyes brimmed with tears. You could have told me that. We could have faced it together. I know, Anna. And I'm sorry for the burden. The truth is, I have this chance to do something incredibly important, a kidney donation. It's a chance for me to show you that I am better. That I can contribute to our future in a way that matters. Her breath hitched slightly. And you were scared I wouldn't support you? Walter nodded. I didn't want to drag you down with my past. But sharing this is a step toward healing. I don't want any more secrets. As Walter poured out his heart, the weight of his past felt lighter. In that fragile moment of vulnerability, he glanced toward Ethan, who was now scribbling on a notepad, seemingly unaware of the emotional undercurrents shifting around him. Mom, can I write you a letter to keep you strong for the surgery? Like a good luck note? Ethan asked, lifting his head with a grin. Anna's smile broke through the tension, and Walter felt a warmth in his chest. "That's a wonderful idea, Ethan," she said, wiping a tear. "I'll keep it right by my side." Walter leaned back, the air feeling different now, charged with possibility. "I think we're learning something here about trust, vulnerability, and love. It's okay to be afraid. But it's better to face it together." "Together," Anna echoed softly, her voice filled with resolve. Just then, a sudden rapping against the door caught their attention. Walter's heart sank for a moment. Had he shared too much too soon? The nurse stepped in, her face calm but serious. "It's time to prepare for the procedure, Walter." An icy knot of fear twisted in his stomach, but then he looked at Anna and Ethan. They were his anchors in this storm, and he felt a surge of renewed strength. "Hang on," he said, pausing before taking one last look at Anna. "No matter what happens, I want you to promise me something." "What?" she asked, eyes wide with concern. "Whatever comes next, remember that I fought for you both." The room fell silent. In that moment, Walter knew he was ready to step into whatever uncertainty lay ahead. But as he turned to leave with the nurse, a question lingered in his mind. Would this journey truly bring healing, or would the echoes of his past still loom over the future? The door slipped closed behind him, sealing the moment in time, leaving Anna and Ethan alone with the weight of anticipation. The new beginning was now, but shadows still danced at the edges of their hope, waiting to unveil what lay beyond the next horizon. Anna sat in the dim light of the hospital room, her fingers tracing the edges of the notepad that Ethan had grabbed from his backpack. The boy had written big, cheerful letters, filled with drawings of hearts and smiles, proclaiming his love and support. Each scribble was a testament to the bond they shared, a bond that was only becoming stronger amidst uncertainty. "Mom, do you think Grandpa will be okay?" Ethan asked, his voice small and uncertain. Her heart ached at the innocence in his tone. "He will be, sweetie. He is strong, just like you." She forced a smile, though fear lingered at the back of her mind. It masked itself with a veil of worry that seemed heavy and suffocating. Ethan leaned against her, resting his head on her shoulder. "I wish I could give him my kidney," he said, almost matter-of-factly. A soft chuckle escaped from her, which quickly turned into a teary smile. "You're a brave boy. But you have a whole life ahead of you. We need to take care of you, too." "Then I'll just write him more letters. Like my superhero ones. I want him to know I'm cheering for him from here." With each word, Anna felt her heart swell. "That's a perfect idea. Let us write him a letter together." As they sat together, creating the letter, Anna's mind buzzed with worry. She replayed Walter's confession over and over, and how much he had struggled alone. Would this donation really be the turning point he desired? Or would it just unveil more hidden truths? Ethan's focus shifted back to his drawing, his little fingers moving deftly across the page. "Mom, do you think Grandpa is scared?" he asked quietly. "Yes," she replied honestly. "But I think he feels something stronger than fear, hope." Ethan's brow furrowed in thought. "Hope is like a light. It makes the shadows smaller." She looked at him, surprised at his insight. Children had a magical way of simplifying life's complexities. "That's exactly it, buddy. You're very wise." Suddenly, the door creaked open, and a nurse peeked her head in. "Just checking in," she said with a kind smile. "Your family will be notified when the surgery has begun. Do you need anything?" Anna shook her head. "Just a few more minutes with my son." The nurse nodded and left them in silence once again. "Mom?" Ethan piped up again as he placed down his colored pencils. "What if Grandpa's kidney doesn't work? What if he needs another one? Then we would figure it out. We're a family, right?" She could feel tears rise up again, threatening to spill over. "We always find a way to tackle challenges together. Yeah, like superheroes," he shouted, flashing her a bright grin that reminded her just how resilient they all had to be. But then, there was a knock again, and this time it was Dr. Martinez, Walter S. surgeon. Her heart raced as she braced herself for news. The doctor's expression was warm yet serious, and Anna sensed a weighty announcement was coming. "Anna," Dr. Martinez said, her voice calm but filled with urgency. "We need to talk about Walter's medical history in more detail before we proceed. I believe there is something crucial we might need to consider." The air crackled with tension as Anna exchanged a worried glance with Ethan. For a split second, time seemed to stand still. What could the doctor possibly mean? Thoughts rushed through her mind, each more alarming than the last. Was there more to Walter's past he hadn't told her? What if this was more than just a surgery? As the doctor moved closer, Anna felt her heart race again. Was this about to take a turn she never expected? Would Walter's journey to healing unravel something buried deep? Just then, Anna was about to ask the question that hung in the air, the one that could change everything. As Anna sat in the quiet of the hospital room, her heart raced. The weight of the doctor's words hung heavily like a storm cloud. What crucial details had Walter held back? Ethan, sensing the shift in atmosphere, clutched his notepad tightly, his innocent excitement replaced by confusion. "Mom, what's wrong?" he whispered, his eyes wide. She forced a smile, but it felt fragile. "Nothing we can't handle, sweetheart." But would it be true? Dr. Martinez took a deep breath, her eyes steady and assuring, like a lighthouse guiding them through dark waters. "Anna, it's important we discuss Walter's past and any potential medical issues that could affect the surgery." "What do you mean?" Anna asked, a knot twisting her stomach. "Decisions he made years ago, they impact not just him but this operation," Dr. Martinez said softly. "There's a chance any complications could put both his life and Anna's in jeopardy." Ethan's small voice cut through the tension with unexpected clarity. "Then we'll find a way to fix it." "Right, Mom?" Anna turned to her son, pride swelling in her heart. "Yes, we will. We will face this together," she affirmed, squeezing Ethan's hand. "Walter is brave," Dr. Martinez continued, her gaze firm on Anna. "But bravery needs support. If he confided in you about his past, we could prepare better for any impacts." The shadows of Walter's hidden truths loomed larger in Anna's mind. He shared some things. But what are we looking at? His previous lifestyle could indicate some risks we need to be aware of. "I want to ensure that both of them are safe," she explained. Clarity began to trickle through Anna's worry. Walter's desire to shield them from his past might have intertwined their fates more than she realized. "We have to be honest with each other to get through this," she said, determination bubbling within her. "We can't keep secrets if they put us at greater risk." "Exactly," Dr. Martinez nodded. "I understand it's a lot to take in. But anything we uncover now could potentially save Walter's life and Anna's." Less than a heartbeat passed before Anna spoke again. "Then we need to encourage him to embrace it all." "Embrace us?" The doctor hesitated. "That means being ready for difficult conversations," she cautioned. "It's no easy feat, but together, you can find strength." Ethan piped up again, "Mom. I want to help Grandpa too. I can write a letter to cheer him on." "Yes. Let us do that." Anna beamed, excitement sparking like fireworks in her heart. Bringing Walter into the circle of their support had to be their first step. Moments later, the door swung open. The nurse returned. "Anna, I'm sorry, but it's almost time for Walter's surgery. We need you both to gather your things." Ethan jolted up, his energy returning. "Let us go say good luck to Grandpa." Anna nodded with a sense of purpose. "Yes, let us do it." They moved through the hospital corridors, each step a reminder of the love that filled their lives, no matter the obstacles. As they approached, the soft hum of heart monitors and hushed footsteps enveloped them. Walter lay in the pre-op room, eyes softened by both anticipation and anxiety. As they entered, he glanced up, that familiar warmth flooding back. "Hey there," he greeted, a weak smile breaking through. "Hi, Grandpa. We came to draw you a superhero picture for luck." Ethan exclaimed, his youthful spirit shining bright. Walter chuckled, but the line of worry etched on his forehead remained. You didn't have to do that, Ethan. Just being here means everything to me. Anna stepped closer, taking his hand. Walter, we need to talk. About everything. You can't keep those shadows from us anymore. His gaze dropped, and she could see the battle raging within him. I've lived in silence for so long, he finally admitted, his voice thick with emotion. I didn't want to burden you with my past. But if it affects your health, it affects us all, Anna urged. Ethan chimed in, eagerness pulsating through him. We're a team, Grandpa. We'll find treasure in the truth. Together. Tears glimmered in Walter's eyes as he gazed at his family. You're right. It's time to face what I've avoided for so long. It's time to let you in. Anna squeezed his hand tighter, hope igniting in her heart. Whatever comes next, we'll manage it together. You taught us that love is the strongest treasure we have. With that, an understanding washed over Walter. The shadows didn't diminish entirely, but the light of family began to flood the room. I hid too much, Walter acknowledged. You deserve to know all of me. A sense of relief cascaded through Anna. The shadows felt slightly less imposing as they faced them together. Promise, Grandpa, Ethan said with passionate determination, no more secrets. Just love. Walter laughed softly, a sound full of relief. I promise. Love is the strongest medicine we have. Before the nurse called him for surgery, Walter pulled his family close, feeling the warmth of their togetherness wrapping around him like a shield. I won't just be fighting for myself, but for both of you too. For our future. As he was wheeled away, Anna and Ethan stood at the doorway, hearts pounding but filled with hope. The uncertainty of the past lingered in the air, but they were ready to face whatever future awaited them together. This moment was more than a leap into the unknown, it was a leap toward renewal across self-forgiveness, family bonds, and overcoming shadows together. Finally, as the door closed, Anna and Ethan knew they were stepping into the light of what it truly meant to be a family brave, courageous, and beautifully imperfect, and in that moment, a world of possibilities opened right before them, strengthening their hearts for the journey ahead. Together, now, as you wrap up this incredible journey with Walter, Anna, and Ethan, don't just step away, be a part of the change. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories filled with hope and transformation. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and let us keep these uplifting tales alive. Comment below your feelings about this ending. I want to know how this inspired you. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support could help someone facing their own shadows. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans understand the power of community and connection.